gonna try to put a little video together here for Jung. Hang on. It's busy. It's bumpy. Oh, okay. So this sail is all the way out. We are running with the wind. We are sailing with the wind, and this is one of the slowest positions that you can sail in. And I'll show you why it's one of the slowest positions and not the slowest necessarily. But when you are sailing into the wind, you are in fact creating kind of your own wind as well. So it's what's called apparent wind when you're sailing into the wind. Think of it when you're riding a bicycle and you get the wind in your face. Well, when you're sailing into the wind, you also create your own wind, so you can go, in theory, faster and faster until you reach the haul speed of the boat itself. But when you're sailing with the wind, you're not creating your own wind, you're just going with it. And so whatever the wind speed is, you're going to be going significantly less than it. I don't know the percentage. But it's when the sail's all the way out and the wind is literally just pushing against the back of it. All right, so now the sail is brought in a little closer to the boat. I'm going to try to do this. Trying to film and sail in this wind. All right, so as you can see, the boom is a lot closer to the boat. The wind is coming directly off the port side, that's the left side, and this is a beam reach. This is one of the fastest tacks you can take. And unlike common misconception, the wind is not pushing on the sail, making it go. In fact, what's happening is the wind is passing around both sides of the sail, and if you can see it a little bit, the sail has sort of a bow to it, and the wind passing on the outside of the sail is actually going faster than the wind passing on the inside of the sail. And now I'm drifting off course, so it's not as dramatic, but and it's actually in fact sucking the sail that way, and it's pulling you along. So the wind is pulling you, not pushing you. So now I got myself back on track, and again, you can see, it's a pain in the ass to do one handed. You can see the wind is blowing out the sail. Hopefully it comes through on the video. And it's actually sucking the sail out. It's not blowing the sail. And that's what's giving you your force that's being exerted on the boat down through the mast. And the centerboard that's partially sticking up, that's what keeps you traveling in a straight line. Otherwise you would just drift to the starboard side or to the right. But this is one of the fastest angles that you can sail at if I'm trimmed right and I'm not trying to do this one-handed. And when you are traveling like this, you're creating your own wind. So while the wind is technically coming almost due off of my left-hand side, because I'm traveling forward, the wind comes more from this angle as opposed to this angle. So since the wind's coming here, as you speed up, you might have to trim the sail and adjust your tack a bit, because you are heading into apparent wind, not actual wind. So now that's a little calmer. My sheet line's getting in front of the camera. Before we get up to that wind, let's talk about dirty air. Okay, so like I said, the wind is coming off of the port side here, coming across the boat, hitting this sail, and it's going on either side of the sail. Once it gets on the other side of the sail, it's traveling faster and sucking the sail. But at that point, all the air behind me, as well as on the other side of the sail, it's not flowing just straight breeze like it is from here. It's all really woo. And it doesn't make for catching the air very well with your sail. So if you are someone over here or just behind me, then you're getting my dirty air is what it's called. So it's mixed air, it's not clean air coming from the environment. Like if you're in a race, like we were doing the other day, if you come up behind someone on this position, if I'm on this track, if someone's coming up behind me, either here, right next to me here, since we're on a beam reach, or in fact a little bit over here, you will, you'll get a lot of my mixed air and you'll never be able to pass me. So you either need to go way downwind of me so that the air is flowing free again, or you need to be on this side of me and then I get your dirty air. And as you pass me, you make me slow down and then you can overtake me. I should have done that on video, but I came about. It's what's called a tack. So the wind is coming from this direction, right over here. So as my boat comes around, I'm heading into the wind. And my sail will eventually want to come over to the other side. And this is called, I'm trying to do this one-handed, so this is called coming about. All right, so we just came about. Now the wind is on the other side of the sail, and we have come about. That's what coming about is, or tacking. Now the other type of tack is a jibe. And the difference is, remember, the wind's coming from over here. So if you come around with the wind to the back of you, to the stern of the boat, not the bow of the boat, so the wind's coming from behind you, that's called a jibe. So that's what's different. So now the sail is going to come across, and that's a jibe. The jibe is a lot more scary and dangerous because, as you can see, the sail is let out quite a bit because the wind's coming from behind me. So the boom's almost all the way out, almost perpendicular to or parallel to the beam of the boat. And so there's a lot of line, and that's way out. I can't even reach it. It's way out there. So when it swings over on a jibe to go way out over that way, it's got a lot of momentum, and it can whack you in the head and can knock you overboard, especially if you're on a bigger boat. It can kill you. So jibes are very dangerous. When you're coming about, when you're tacking into the wind, so you're doing this, you have to bring the sail in a lot closer before you come about, so there's less distance for it to travel. So it's like right on top of my head. So there's less distance for it to travel, and it's a lot safer. All right, so now we've got the right tack together. You've got my sheet line in the frame. And, well, I slowed down a touch. I think I brought the sail in too much. All right, so we are on more or less a beam, mostly a beam reach. So the wind's coming directly from over here. And what I said was the second slowest was going with the wind. The more you head up into the wind, the slower you'll actually go. So if I bring the sail in and I start heading up more towards where the wind's coming from, so now I got the sail right in as much as I can, holding a phone and trying to film. See, I'm not going that fast, even though the wind, if you can hear it, is blowing like mad. So every boat, no matter the style of it, has got a point of no return before you go into irons. And this is about it. This is about as tight as this boat will actually move into the wind. And the wind is coming from right about there. So my one telltale is still kind of flying, and I'm still kind of moving, but not very fast at all. And the boom is all the way in. It's like center of boat. And so this is as tight as I can go. And then the slowest possible point is right in the irons. And that's when your nose is faced straight into the wind. And now we're not moving at all. We're in irons. So the nose is right into the wind, the sail is flapping, and this is irons. It's easy enough to recover. Just sort of, when you're in irons on a smaller boat like this, you might want to just try to find, or even a bigger boat, which way the wind is most likely to catch you, on which tack. Either you're on a starboard tack or a port tack. This is a starboard tack because the wind is coming from the starboard side. And then you can just get moving again. And if this isn't the tack you ultimately want to be on, once you get moving, you get some momentum, then you can just come about. And now you're on the tack that you wanted to be on, which is a port tack. I know you had to go on the starboard tack a bit to get out of irons. And there's the buoy way down there, sailing in this little blue and white sunfish. Okay, I don't know what else to tell you at this moment. It's kind of hard to talk about a lot of things while I'm actually trying to sail, and the wind's clipping along pretty good actually. So these boats are a little tippy, so if you don't handle them right, you can go over. So if you have any other questions about sailing, tacks, or whatever, leave a comment below. Also, like and subscribe and tell your friends. And I'm in irons again, but I'm waiting for him. How we doing?
I don't know.
You don't know how you're doing, or you don't know what you're doing?
I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my God, we're gonna crash.